Every single fear, every single insecurity, every single worry, every single negative thought that you have has a positive underlying intention. Hey there, I'm Dan Candell. I'm known worldwide as the anxiety relief guy. And in this video, I'm going to spill the beans as to why there are times where you might feel like you are in a state of struggle, in a state of stagnancy, and in a state of constant stress and anxiety where you feel like you're walking on eggshells or constantly waiting for the next shoe to drop. If you're new to me, welcome to the conversation. I'm Dan Candell. I'm known worldwide as the anxiety relief guy. I am a board-certified clinical hypnotist, which means I help you reprogram your subconscious mind so that way you can eliminate the unnecessary stress and anxiety that holds you back. So that way you have more good days and bad days, more breakthroughs and breakdowns, and you start having more wins and losses so you can look forward to tomorrow instead of dreading it. Let's start this conversation. So a lot of people reach out to me because they are plagued with negative thoughts, or they are plagued with these feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, stress, burnout, struggle, overwhelm, you name it. Whatever uncomfortable feeling, sensation, or emotion there is, I've worked with it. And a lot of people will say things like, I can't keep feeling this way anymore, or I can't keep thinking like this anymore, or in order to get this done, I must not feel this way. In order to get that done, I must not think that way. In order to live a happy life, I must not be thinking or feeling these thoughts or feeling these feelings or sensations that I'm feeling. And here's the thing. We label all of those thoughts, we label all of those feelings, we label all of those sensations as bad. And we try and get rid of or avoid the bad things. And pretty soon we go into reactive mode where we start avoiding all of the things that could make us feel the way we don't want to feel. But guess what? All those thoughts that you label as bad, all those feelings or sensations or emotions that you label as bad or uncomfortable, or you need to avoid whatever is going to make you feel that way, guess what? All of those thoughts, all of those feelings, all those sensations, all those emotions, they are there for a reason. And if we stopped resisting all of those things that make us feel uncomfortable, guess what would happen? The feelings of discomfort would no longer limit us. We still might feel uncomfortable at times, but they will no longer influence us to avoidance or to reaction. And when we can actually make peace with the reality that there are times we're going to feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is just trying to keep me safe, because that's why those feelings, sensations, or emotions are there, because they're trying to serve you. They're trying to keep you safe. But what happens when you start reacting to those uncomfortable feelings, those uncomfortable emotions, you start to go into avoidance mode, where your life starts getting smaller and smaller. And your brain then learns to be satisfied with smaller, to be grateful for less, and to be grateful just for the mere fact that you woke up today. That's where we want to reframe all those thoughts. We want to reframe all those feelings. We want to reframe all of those sensations and all those emotions. And instead of saying, I can't feel this way in order to be happy, I can't think these thoughts in order to do this, in order to be successful, instead of saying that and living in that constant resistance and avoidance mode, when we can say, you know what, I can still think this thought, but realize it's a thought. And even though I don't like it, it doesn't have to influence me. I'm feeling this feeling, and even though I'm feeling this feeling, it doesn't have to influence me to stop dead in my tracks. It doesn't have to influence me to avoid going into that situation. And we want to make the uncomfortable comfortable. We want to make the unfamiliar familiar. This is why so many people struggle with stress, with anxiety, with overwhelm, with panic, with self-doubt, with second-guessing every decision, is because they're trying to keep themselves safe and protected. There's literally one part of the mind that thinks, if this person doesn't feel stressed or anxious or panicked or doubtful, if this person doesn't feel this way, then they're going to make reckless decisions. So I have to protect them so they keep themselves safe and so they don't make reckless decisions. That's what that part literally thinks. And it's a part of you that is mismanaged and it is improperly educated. It's way out of date and it doesn't have the right information that is right for a mature adult, because the way you keep yourself safe now is completely different than the way you keep yourself, or than the way you kept yourself safe when you were younger. Here's a perfect example of this. I have worked with hundreds of people that have highway or driving anxiety. So anytime they drive down the highway, they have this fear of having a panic attack and then passing out while they have that panic attack and getting into a horrific accident and having something bad happen to themselves or other people. So what do? They start to avoid highways. Once they avoid highways, then they have this thought that says, oh, what happens if I'm going to feel this way now just going down a main road, even if it's not a highway? And so they start avoiding main roads. And then they get to the point where they now spend hours planning how to get to a place that might be 45 minutes away. They spend hours planning how they're going to get there, and they spend more than the 45-minute drive it would take down the highway. They spend way more time getting there using all these little back roads. And the reason why is because the brain generalizes. Now, here's literally what the brain thinks. The brain thinks if this person feels safe driving down the highway, then they're going to make reckless decisions and they're going to become the driver that maybe they were when they were 16, 17, or 18 years old, where they are careless and they drive 95 miles an hour down the highway. They start swerving between cars, having that mentality of nothing bad is going to happen to me. I'm invincible. Because many of us, when we're teenagers, we're not faced with our own mortality, so we make some pretty reckless decisions. We maybe do some dumb things. And when we look back now, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that when I was younger. It's because we have this feeling of being invincible, and many of us aren't confronted with our own mortality until a little bit later in life. So that part of the mind, that anxious, panicked part of the mind, that fearful part of the mind, it thinks, oh, if this person drives down the highway and they feel safe and comfortable, then they're going to make reckless decisions and they're going to put themselves into danger and they're going to put other people in harm's way. Now, of course, that's not what's going to happen, but that's what that part of the mind thinks, so it creates anticipatory anxiety. It anticipates that you're going to do that and you're going to make bad decisions and that you're not going to be as alert and aware. And it's the same thing for any other type of anxiety as well. Even business decisions that you have to make, second guessing yourself. What if I do this and it fails miserably? What if I do this and it doesn't work out? What if I do this and I waste all kinds of time and money and effort and energy? What if I do this and I fail? That part of the mind, it's that same part of the mind that would come out for an anxious person driving down the highway who has highway anxiety, but just manifests in a slightly different way. That's what we call the what if paradox. Many of us are plagued with all of these what ifs. But here's what happens. We forget that there's a different side of the what if. We spiral into all these, what if this problem happens? What if I fail? What if I get into an accident? What if I don't do this? What if I feel this way? And we forget to entertain the other side. What if I do this and I learn a lot along the way and I succeed beyond my wildest imagination? Or what if I don't get exactly what I wanted, but I still learn and I still succeed partway? What if there are other people that I'm going to meet along the way that are going to help me achieve my goals even further? What if I drive down the highway and I actually laugh as to how good I feel, and I roll the windows down. I feel the breeze going through my hair and the breeze going over my arms, and it just feels like this feeling of freedom, and I'm still aware and I'm still able to keep myself safe. That's the other part of the mind. That's the part of the mind that wants you to be confident and motivated and feel comfortable and safe and secure, but it's afraid of the anxious part. So what we have to do is allow these two parts to come together and to say, hey, you know what? You can still do all those things you want to do, but without the unnecessary anxiety, and you can still keep yourself safe. Because your mind is lying to you. When you're stressed and anxious, your mind is lying to you. It tells you the things that are really safe are unsafe. They're dangerous. Your mind tells you that if you're not feeling anxious, you're not aware. Your mind is telling you if you're not anxious, you're not able to make decisions that could protect you, so you should just avoid everything that could potentially go wrong or be unsafe or lead to failure. But that part of the mind is lying to you. When you're in that state of anxiety or stress or overwhelm, you're not thinking clearly. In fact, you're making the same decisions you would make as if you were drunk or as if you were tipsy. You're not making decisions that are well thought out or clear, and they could sabotage everything. So that's why we want to bring these two parts together, so that way you can still do what you want to do and feel safe at the same time. There is a way to do this, and there are several ways to do this, and that's one of the things that I do with people in my collective. I work with them, and we also do a lot of clearings, because as we integrate these parts, sometimes there's what we call saboteurs or sabotaging parts that come up, and we need to clear the influence of those parts. So what I do in my group sessions, in my Break Free Collective, I help you break free from the influence of all of those thoughts, feelings, sensations, and emotions that could cause you to go into reactive mode, so that way you feel safe, so that way you feel comfortable with the things that used to feel uncomfortable. So the things that used to bother you no longer do like they did before. And we can apply this to anxiety, stress, overwhelm. We can apply this to business decisions. We can apply it to procrastination, because procrastination is just a surface level issue. Underneath procrastination is anxiety. Underneath the anxiety is fear. Underneath the fear is protection. So we go through these levels, and every week I'm helping you clear out another one of these core emotional blockers, the underlying emotional core that holds you back, so that way you can form that identity of the person you need to be in order to do what you want to do and have what you want to have. If this feels right, if this makes sense to you, then it means that you probably are ready to do some deeper inner work. And the deeper inner work that we do, it doesn't involve years of therapy or anything like that. If you want to find out more about it, just go to my Instagram and DM the word apply. There may also be a link down below in the description of this video where you can also fill out an application or contact me directly just to see how to get started and to get all the info and everything like that that you need. Make sure you follow my page, rate, also comment. A lot of people don't comment, and engagement, when you comment, it helps me help you. Even if you just comment the word pineapple or the words purple cow or something like that, it doesn't matter. Engagement is engagement. It helps me help you, and it helps me help more people. Thank you so much for participating in this conversation. As always, be well, do good, be true to who you are. Happy healing, and bye for now.